I think across the state is that there's a big shortage of officers, and not only in this state, but in the country. And we're not the only state that actually has adopted this new law. There's several states across the country that were doing it, and they haven't had any issues from my knowledge. But it's very important to make sure that we inform individuals the correct way, saying that this is specifically for permanent residents and DACA recipients. Many people think this is for illegal immigrants. That is not the case. Currently, by federal law, I will agree that illegal immigrants cannot have or purchase a gun. So this is why they cannot be police officers, and this is not a way to allow them to become police officers. This is specifically for permanent residents and those that are federally approved to work.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating. Look, we've done this when it came to the U.S. military, right? The U.S. military is having an enormous problem recruiting to the point that they're now advertising in foreign languages for the same thing, for legal immigrants to be able to sort of get a fast track to citizenship by serving the United States. And I'm wondering what it says that people who are not U.S. citizens are more likely to be willing to risk their lives to protect America, even if it be it, on the streets of Chicago or other cities, than people who were born here.
I think it's a fair assumption. I think there's a lot of individuals that have given their lives to this country, and unfortunately were deported by being in the military as well. We can't forget those individuals that went through the military and served their country and then unfortunately got sent back to a country that they don't know. And that's what's happening right now with the DACA recipients. Many individuals were maybe not born here, but they grew up here. They were brought here at 2 years old.
Barbara, we're getting into a different conversation here. Hold on, Barbara, we're getting into a different conversation here. We're not talking about deporting DACA recipients. We're talking about, I thought you wanted to talk about people who were here legally, who wanted to have legal status, who wanted to serve as police officers.
Exactly. And that's why we're opening that pool. We're opening that pool of applicants to be able to become police officers in the state of Illinois. Okay. We have recently received
I guess what I'm trying to figure out,
individuals across the country.
Right. What I'm trying to figure out, Chicago down 1,500 officers, New York down 239, St. Louis 20% understaffed, down 254 officers, Oakland down 500 officers. Our 911 system does not work. Residents now know that. Help will not come when danger confronts them. Worse, criminals know that too. That's from the NAACP in Oakland's recent letter. So my question, though, is, what do you think it says that people who have come from another country are more willing to sign up to be police officers than people who are already here and were born in America?
I think overall it gives an opportunity for individuals. That's what's giving an opportunity for them to be able to become police officers. Yeah. And with your question, they're risking their lives in either military or here as a police officer, and that's what we need. I wish more people were willing to do so, but I know there's many of them go through different careers. However, there's a lot more individuals that will go for it. So I want to open those applicants and be able to have, if they do want to give their service.
All right, we'll see how this works, especially as it's harder and harder to get people to be cops these days. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.